Hey everybody, Zack here at etrailer.com. Today we're going to take a look at a RV utility porch light. This is going to work out great for RVs and campers like we have here today, but it's also going to work out great for utility trailers. The way that it's going to work is it ties into our 12-volt power, and it has a light switch on it. So, we have this tied into a switch on the inside of our camper here today, but on an enclosed trailer, maybe you want to put that somewhere else along the camper. You don't have a light switch you want to put it into. Let's say you're wanting to put it over a basement door on the camper, or you just don't have one on the utility trailer. As long as you have power, you can turn that switch on and off to give you some light. So you can see here, I can just turn this on and off on the outside. But since I have it tied into the switch on the inside, I can leave this switch on and flip the switch on and off inside if I wanted to treat it like a traditional porch light. But I like just having the flexibility. Maybe not in this position we have here today since it's so tall is it as practical, but like I said, if you had it on a basement door or tucked into a basement, it would be a really good light for you, especially if you don't have the ability to run a switch to that area, just wanted to tie it into the power. Now this style light is pretty common when it comes from the factory on your campers. If you're looking to match this up to a light that you need to replace, the measurements on this are going to be 6 1/4 by 3 7/16 by 1 7/8 inches on the depth there. I turned off the lights here in the shop just to give you a better idea how bright this is. I have a little bit of light coming in from next door, but this gives you a good idea. This is lighting up 4 or 5 feet, and it's not overbearing with how bright it is. I think it does a good job of lighting up the area. I like that my steps are lit up, so wherever you've got this at, I can look up at it. It's not too bright if you have it down low in a basement. So overall, I think it's a good light. The incandescent versus the LED, I think it just is up to you. If you don't mind swapping out those bulbs, just keep a bulb in the camper and I think you'll be just fine. It still has a nice clean look to it. It's just not that LED look that some people are looking for. And when it comes to the installation, it's pretty straightforward, so let's just walk you through how we put this one in place. The first thing we need to do is get our old light removed. Now I have these exposed wires here that we're going to our old light, and I know that the black wire is power and I know the white wire is ground. I went ahead and I've disconnected my power to the camper. The first thing I need to do here is strip these back and get those ready to be connected. Now our light comes pre-stripped, so I'll get those exposed. And then I'm going to take some butt connectors and connect this. I'm just using a standard butt connector. You can use heat shrink if you'd like, but our wires are going to be inside the camper, so it is not completely necessary to use heat shrink, but if you'd like, by all means go ahead and use those. Get this put in place, get it crimped down. The black wire coming out of the light is power. The white wire is ground. So it's very convenient that they're going to match up color-wise, but not all the time is this going to be the same thing coming out of your camper. So it's a good idea to test that out before you unhook from power. Get it crimped down the same way. Kind of make sure that it's still good. We can get those fed back in. And got a decent amount that I'm going to have to tuck back in here. But before I get that pushed in all the way, you can see where the wires are coming out of the back plate right here. It's off to the side. It's not my favorite design. I wish it was kind of here more centered because the hole in our camper is centered to our mounting holes. But you can see there's this little indention here. That's where the wires will rest in to take some of the stress off of pushing this up against the body of the camper. So I'm going to get those fed back in all the way. Now it doesn't come with hardware. So I'm just using screws that were already in place holding our existing light there. I'm just going to get those put in place. If you do need to have new mounting holes, I would suggest drilling a pilot hole first. Once we get that put in place, and put this lens cover on there. We can go hook up to power and test this light out. Now, you can see here, we've got a decent amount of stuff left over from our old light, so we will have to get that cleaned up at some point. Good idea to put some sealant around that once we confirm that this light is functioning. But let's go ahead and let's get hooked up to power. Now this one's tied into a light switch on the inside, so that's the nice thing of having that switch there. If you didn't have it, say you had it on that utility trailer, you could get it hooked up and just flip the switch there with it hooked up to power. So I'm going to flip that switch on the inside and then get this one here. You can see we have power. And that's the nice thing. We can just turn it off there, or I can leave it on and use my switch on the inside, and it works the same way. So overall, this is going to be a really good light. Pretty straightforward. It's going to be a really good replacement if you have a similar style light, or if you're just looking to kind of give you a more upgraded look compared to the old rectangular style. This is going to be a really good option for you. But that's going to do it for a look at the utility porch light from Optronics.